Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
No, that's actually not me. Yes, this is CFmoto CLC450, but it's a black edition. The one I had was grey. So who the hell is this and why am I filming this guy? Well, if you are not new to this channel, then you probably know that I reviewed the shit out of the CFmoto CLC450. I made a separate video about the negatives of this bike. I made a separate video about the positives of this bike. And then the long-term use review just before selling it. But in every single one of them, I said over and over again that it's all my personal opinions. Some formed by facts, some formed by my observations and experience, all of which I gathered from using this bike every single day. And it made me think, what if I was wrong about something? What if I was wrong about everything? Well, there is only one way to know this, and that's getting the opinion from someone who owns the identical bike, who used it for the same period and even more, plus in the same city. Welcome, Eldar, to this podcast. No, I'm kidding. It's not a podcast. It will be just Eldar sharing his experience with his CFmoto CLC450. Which, after filming and editing this video, I realized that it actually looks like a podcast. So anyways, the idea is simple. Eldar will talk about his experience with this bike, what he really likes about it, or what he dislikes. And closer to the end, we will be discussing some of the negative points from my previous videos to see if he can confirm or disagree with some of them. Once again, welcome Eldar. Thanks for being my guest. I always wanted to say something like this.
Thank you for inviting me. It's my pleasure to be here. Happy to see you once again. And that's actually my first time video interview with anybody in my life experience.
Interesting and maybe funny stories that we know each other probably for 13 years, and because of my work and the traveling, because of the sport and stuff, because we are now grown-ass men with the families and so on, we didn't sat like this for a really long time. I think last time we've seen each other was like 6 years ago, probably something like that. And the way I received the message from you was that you were looking for a bike on a website which is like alternative of eBay in our country, and you saw my CLC, my announcement that I'm selling the bike, and when you clicked on it you found my number. So that's how I knew that you want to buy CLC, and you knew that I'm the one selling the CLC and I'm the one actually owning it. But unfortunately for you, when you messaged me, I already sold my bike, so it was long gone. But you still decided to buy this bike. You still decided to go for CLC 450, but if you look at it from the other point of view, you were looking for something used. So you were on the website that is offering the used motorcycles, but still you decided to get your own brand new CLC 450. So why is that? Why specifically CLC 450?
Yep, absolutely. I think we have met last time maybe more than 7 years, because it was actually before my military service. When I went into the military, it was 2015, I guess. So yeah, decade ago. But I'm happy that again we can sit and talk to each other about actually one of my passions for the moment, the motorcycles. So the reason why I actually decided to buy motorcycle, I decided to change my car to something else. As far as you know, I actually used to drive my own car for last, I would say 12 years. And I used to that. I have never dreamt about motorcycle. Sometimes just seeing a beautiful Harley or something like that, I was just liking that, nothing else. But for the last few years, maybe about 5 years, it started to getting worse and worse. The traffic in Baku became a nightmare because of the Formula One, because of the COP29. The road was all day closed. There was some maintenance on the roads. So I decided that I have to change it to some alternative usage. I even tried to use a bus with these bus lines, and I even bought my own scooter to use it for daily use. But there are all some advantages, of course, and disadvantages. But one of the biggest disadvantages of these alternatives is that they are not so fast enough, and also they are not so cool as much. To understand my passion to the motorcycles, I decided to went to the courses to understand, will I actually like to drive it? So last year during the summer, maybe in August, mid-September, I went to the courses and I started to learn how to drive it. During these lessons, I decided that I have to buy my own motorcycle because I really loved and I couldn't wait till the next lesson. So one of my colleagues decided to support me in finding relevant to my needs motorcycle. As I'm not a big fan of the sport motorcycles or even high speeds, I was looking for maybe scramble motorcycle or a cruiser. I'm a big fan of the Harley Davidson, so these cruisers, these muscle motorcycles, I really love them. But my colleagues, as an experienced person, told me that might be not a good option for the beginner motorcycle because most of the Harley, they are not so easy to learn. They are very big ones and very heavy. So he showed me this CFmoto. And actually, when I yesterday was talking with him that I'm going to be interviewed by you, he told me that the reason why he actually suggested to me was one of your videos that he saw in the internet. Yeah. So when I started to watch this video about these motorcycles, by the way, in the suggestions that period of time, I didn't saw your videos. I really liked the way it looked. So I decided maybe I should make some researches for myself. As it was the end of the season, winter coming, and I didn't have enough money to buy a new one, I was just keep it as my dream. When I was looking at the motorcycles, at these all alternatives at the websites, I saw your publication. I decided like maybe that's a sign, but I wanted to learn why you actually selling it, and I contacted you. So you told me about the advantages, disadvantages, and even so sent your video links. I saw all your videos. I'm a big fan of you. So as I just mentioned earlier, I was loved with some of the Harley Davidson motorcycles, and one of the options that I had it was Iron 883, which has kindly looks the same but have a lot of more disadvantages than advantages. It's more heavy, no ABS, no traction control, and many other things. So I went to the dealership of the CFmoto in Azerbaijan, and I checked. I just feel it, I touched it, and decided. I said to myself, yes, that's exactly what I need.
So it was kind of a love from the first sight, if we can say like this. Well, so if I'm not mistaken, this is your first ever motorcycle. You never drove a motorcycle before. It was something just in your dreams, but now you actually have it. It's your first motorcycle, and you decided to go with CLC450. So after 6 months of driving it, like that's your first 6 months of driving a like any motorcycle. Do you think that it's a beginner friendly bike? I mean, I know that a lot of people watching these videos, like the CLC series, they are interested about buying this bike, and they're also mentioning that this is their first bike. So as the beginner, and the advice from a beginner to a lot of beginners, or like for those who wants to buy their second motorcycle, not that much experience, would you still suggest this bike? And if yes, why yes? If no, why no?
Actually, as you have mentioned, that's my first motorcycle, and I don't have a lot of things to compare with. On maybe only Yamaha FZ6 that I used to drive in my motor school. And yes, in this case, CF is better because it's more technology improved, have ABS and many other things. Also, that physics was very old one because a lot of students was driven it. So if we're talking about is it friendly, beginner friendly motorcycle, I would say yes, because during the 6 months period, I drove more than 4,000 kilometers, and I would say the only mistake that the motorcycle didn't forgive me was then during my driving during the parking at my parking at home. I felt on it because I closed the clutch at the lower speed and I was turning. So as I have mentioned, during these 6 months I learned to drive it. I learned how to avoid traffic, how to be between the cars. I have a lot of experience in the city, especially in traffics. Yes, of course, if you will compare it with some street bikes, this Yamaha's 150 and many others, they're much easier to drive in the city as I see by my eyes, by this all couriers making a lot of different things at the streets. But yes, it's still beginner friendly and usage friendly at the streets. Maybe even drive somehow at the highways, but not with the biggest speed, because it's you getting very, very tired by this wind and all other things. If I will go back in these 6 months, would I choose it once again? I think yes, that's the good option, not expensive one, and have a lot of ticks, a lot of these benefits. So yeah, I would use it and I would suggest it to new beginners.
Okay, but what about reliability? I mean, made in China term or phrase was used to signify something cheap, and cheap was the price and cheap was the quality. So is it the same case with that motorcycle? Is it as cheap as some of the kitchen appliances or some of the toys that are coming with the mark of made in China? I mean, if you think about it, when you buy something that has a mark of made in China and you're going to use it in the kitchen, or it's just some toy that's supposed to, I don't know, move or just stand on your shelf, it's not a big deal. But now we're talking about a motorcycle. It's something that's supposed to transport you from point A to point B on a pretty high speed. So I think reliability is a very, very important thing, and I think it's a question that a lot of people who are used to that made in China term are questioning when they think to buy this motorcycle. So what you can tell about it?
Good question, by the way. It was one of my fears at the moment when I was thinking about buying this motorcycle. And the person who have ever had experience of driving Kawasaki or maybe Honda, that's the question that they have at their mind right now. But when I went to the dealership, I touched the bike, I have inspected it, I felt it, like it's really heavy, it's a metal, it's not a plastic or something like that. You can see that it's good quality. Maybe not a premium quality, but it's really feels strong enough to keep it in the normal way. So after the 6 months, I can say definitely that's a good bike. That's a good choice for this money. It's like, I don't know, is that okay to make a comparison with Xiaomi, with the old models that was cheap? No one even knew about them. They had a lot of issues like in the software, but now that's one of the most selling smartphones in the worldwide.
You ride this bike every single day. So as you said before, it's not just a weekend fun. So I think the most logical question to ask, and the question that would interest a lot of people watching, is how comfortable is this bike for someone new like you? And what about the maneuverability? I mean, when I talk about maneuverability, I'm also talking about the comfortness of using this bike during the traffic, like lane filtering and turnings and stuff.
I mean, it's okay, especially with maneuverability, because most part of the riding during the day, it's lane filtering, and I'm used to feel the bike, which is most important point, because the lower speed, feeling the throttle, feeling the clutch, feeling the how the motorcycle leaning, it's one of the biggest advantages of this motorcycle, and I really can say that this is like a part of my body. People who used to drive motorcycle, I think they will understand me. When it comes to comfortability of this motorcycle, I think it's one of the good motorcycle for the city ride, not for the long distance, like for up to 30 minutes, maybe 1 hour of riding. But when it comes to driving a long highway distance, it's making you tired a lot because of the no windshield, no wind protection at all, and you will be tired.
Actually, I would agree with you as someone who did a long distance trip on a motorcycle, obviously not on CLC450, but on Yamaha XSR 900. The wind is one of the main factors why a driver gets tired every 30 minutes, every 40 minutes, and so on. So without the proper wind protection, yeah, that's like, if you consider having this bike for a long distance trip, then I think it would make sense to invest in some wind protection.
I also sometimes drive this motorcycle with the second passenger, and I would say that's a bit difficult part of this motorcycle when it double your weight, and you will definitely feel it when you're lane filtering because it's getting very slow, and also the throttle you will not feel it when you single rider. You really can feel like motorcycle will do whatever you want him to do. When you open it, it immediately increases the speed. When you have a second passenger, it's like a slow turtle. I mean, maybe with another bikes it's totally the same, but for me it's like a big issue when you have to ride with a second passenger. You will feel it totally different. The braking, the throttle, everything. I mean, it's okay. Yeah, like, I don't like to drive with the second passenger because it's a lot of risk, and I have to be responsible for the second passenger. Again, when I'm asking my second passenger, did they enjoy the ride? For the short distance, they are okay with that, but the sitting itself, it's very, very difficult for them. It's very tough. It's very small. It's not okay for a long distance. It's like a not like the big cruisers that you can see at the movies that they have their own seating place. So maybe if I will buy additional seating handle for the second passenger, it will be better. But I don't like how it looks.
Now, what about modifications? Like, have you installed anything additional to this bike? And if yes, why would you do it? Like, is there a specific reason why would you do that? And how much you spend on it? Was it worth it or not?
Actually, I have bought crash bars for these motorcycles. First of all, they are securing the engine from the damage if I will fail, and also it will defend my legs in terms if something will happen straight hit by the car, or if I will be falling on it, it will save my legs in terms of it will not laying on my leg and will not split it me through the whole highway. So yeah, that's a good investment, I think, and they are not so expensive. I mean, maybe around hundreds of dollars. You need to check it. If you will buy it in from an AliExpress, it will be much cheaper, and they are full metal construction, which is good. I also have bought the coverage for this oil protection, oil of the front brake. It doesn't look good even with this protection, without this protection, but it's like, that's okay. It's also black, so it covers everything in black color. But I didn't bought any else. I like how it looks without anything, like the naked bike with this neo cruising style.
Obviously, modifications you talked about are all optional. Like, you can either do them or just skip them altogether. But what about necessary modifications, let's say, like oil change, tire change or tire pressure levels and so on? Like, what about that necessary stuff? And if combining them all together, what about the servicing of this bike? Like, how easily it is to service? Are you servicing it yourself, or you are going to the dealership? Like, have you ever had any issues where you would need to service this bike earlier than you would expect, or it's all good?
I mean, I used to went only to the dealership for the services, and I had to be there like a couple of times only because it's not a long distance that I drove. I changed the oil. I mean, they checked everything that they should check by the book, the service book. So I haven't had any problems with the dealership. They actually, local dealership are quite good. They're doing everything that they need. They're even explaining what they are doing and and it's only for 15 minutes. Like, that's totally okay. You're coming, there's the next store to this service. You can check new arrivals, maybe buy some t-shirt for yourself, and they are calling you like, it's done, take your bike, and it's already outside, so it's good.
So now I think it's a perfect time to find out if I was wrong or right with the points I listed in my video about negatives of this bike. So the way we would do it, I will ask you the questions based on the list that I had in that video, and you would agree or disagree with me, and obviously we'll explain why you do so. In that video I mentioned that from the moment you turn the key, the screen takes normally longer time to turn on. So is it something that I personally find slow, or you as well find it a bit slow?
I mean, that's not only your problem, that's a problem of whole people in the world. trying to be somehow fast, this fast dopamine. Why everybody so running? What's happening? Like, it's just 10 seconds, nothing more. Even if I will turn it very fast, I still need some time to wear my helmet, to make it warm up. So what's the issue with that? Like, it's just 10 seconds. I would say, like, for some people who are turning it on or planning to be a courier with this bike, for them it might be a problem because they have to turn it on, turn it off. For me, it's just twice a day when I'm going to my work and when I'm coming back to home.
But still, you would agree that, like, even if you prepare yourself, like, you come to the bike with your helmet on, with your gloves on, and with everything ready to start the bike, you agree that 10 seconds, it's quite a lot for the screen to turn on.
That's okay. Like, it's not a big issue. That this motorcycle have more important disadvantages, I would say.
Okay, I'll take that as an answer. Key on the side of the bike, which I mentioned in my videos, looks cool, but still, if you crash your bike on the right side, it will snap underneath the weight of the bike. So the question is, although I know a lot of people do not agree with that being a negative point, and everyone is saying it's a cruiser type of thing, I still do not agree. I still believe that it's a kind of a design flaw, but anyways, that's my opinion. But, like, do you share that opinion? Do you think that yes, it looks cool, but it's quite risky for the key to snap if you fall on that bike on the right side?
I would say for me it's okay because I have crash bars, which will actually defend the key also. But I would agree that's a kind of strange design for me because there's plenty of times that I actually forgot key in the vehicle. Like, I was went back to the office and I was like, where's the key? Coming back after 9 hours, I was find it again in the engine from the side. Happily, in Azerbaijan, most of the people will not touch it, but, like, it might happen that it will be stolen or something like that. I hope it will not be again, but it's many of times I was went back to the office and I was like, oh, forgot, oh, fuck's sake, I'm forget it again.
So you just made an advertisement for the safety of the entire country, which I fully agree. I mean, it's relatively safe if you compare it to. I usually don't like compare the countries, but if you compare it to other countries, I won't name the names, but yeah, it's pretty safe here. Continuing with the key topic, so one of the things that I mentioned in my video about negatives is that the way you would lock the front wheel is a bit weird, because it's a separate lock located close to the front wheel and, like, between the tank and the front wheel, and you have to take off the key from the ignition lock and then put it to that separate lock it, and then or unlock it and then start the bike again. So I personally found myself, like, dozens of times starting the bike and then realizing that, oh, I didn't unlock the front wheel. So have you experienced the same? Yeah, I knew that it wasn't only me. It wasn't only me.
Definitely. I had few of these situations actually in the morning when you are tired, you're just forgetting, did I lock it, did I lock it, and I put it to the ignition, would like to open the lock, then I would like, should I check it? Oh, I need to remove it once again. I find the solution for that. I'm not just locking the front wheels and that's off. I'm using this locker only when I'm driving to some new places where I don't know will people touch my bike or something like that. As I'm parking it at my parking slot under the building, no need for that because it's standing behind my car at my job place. And also that's a place, Port Baku, every side is a camera, so I'm not just closing it at all. When I'm driving sometimes on the weekends, in some new places, yeah, I would definitely use that, but it's once in a month, that's okay, I think.
Moving on to CFmoto application, which I personally find absolutely useless, because wherever you click, you get this message popping up saying that you need a T-box for that, and it's an additional device that costs obviously some additional money. So not only about the application, but also about the screen of the bike, I mean the software of the bike. I personally, again, I find it a bit a bit pity that, you know, they made such a beautiful looking device on the bike itself, and it's kind of useless. I mean, you have no flexibility. You cannot change any icons. You cannot reposition the icons, or like, apart from the bottom line with the trip plans and maybe the mileage and so on, you have no flexibility. So is it only me, or you find the same thing as well?
I'm agree with you. Like, this application is totally useless. You can download it, but nothing will happen. Absolutely nothing. You cannot even connect it to your smartphone doing this application. You cannot use it. You can only use it by Bluetooth, but no need for that, because it will make mess between your intercom, your mobile phone, and it's like additional Bluetooth device, which is no need for that. Absolutely. T-Box, I guess that might be a good thing, but I haven't bought it. I'm not even planning to buy it, because no need for that. There's navigation, everything. You can use it by your smartphone. When it comes to
plus the T-Box, it costs like additional, I don't know, $250, $300
I
or
guess
something
it's
like that.
$300, which is like good investment. You can buy additional, I don't know, navigation or something, some tools for the motorcycle. LCD display, LED display, I don't know how it calls, but like it's quite good quality. Chinese know how to build the LED displays, but like it's, again, no need for such a smart device on this motorcycle. I'm not using it at all. I just checking some services when it comes to service, which is like one from 3,000 kilometers, and connecting smartphone. I actually remove it from the motorcycle because it made a mess between my devices. So I'm just checking the bottom line, and that's totally enough with me.
I didn't even manage to connect my phone to that screen.
I would love if I can make some changes of this display, like make it looks more, I don't know, different colors, maybe some personalization, like classic style. I would say it would be more useful.
Yeah, that's actually what I wished for, and hopefully in the future that's something that CFmoto will consider for their future bikes, or even maybe for CLC, like with some updates or upgrades, they can somehow, you know, give us the possibility to modify it. And finally, the last question, maybe a bit a funny question, but I just need to get a confirmation that it's not only me. The jar of peace, which I called such in my video about negatives, which is actually the oil reservoir. So do you really think that it's a jar of peace, or it's my issue of taste, and I don't know, I'm just looking, I'm just being picky, you know, and trying to find the negatives, and I think I already know the answer, because by the way you covered it with that black band, I mean, I think I know the answer, but I'll let you to answer it.
Like, for me it was so, like, this is designer thing. Maybe I don't understand why they did it, but when I found how they covered the back brake oil, it was like, for me it was like, guys, you know how to do that. What's the problem? Like, the funny fact, the funny thing, like, once I was pulled up by the police, and the guy just asked me, what is it? Like, exactly, like, what is this? That was the only question. He didn't even check my document. What's this oil for? I was like it's a brake. Oh, interesting. The guy was driving the motorcycle, these BMWs of the police, and like, I don't have such thing. I said, hey, you have a nice bike then. Like, what can I say to you?
Thank you very much, Eldar, for sharing your experience. I'm pretty sure a lot of people watching this video will appreciate honest and unbiased information, which is pretty hard, I'd say, to find nowadays on YouTube. I mean, everything seems so sponsored and so alternated by money or by whatever. So it's pretty hard to find something honest. And thank you for being the contributor of the honesty today.
Thank you for having me. I hope this video will actually give some directions for the new beginners or the people who are actually want to buy this bike. Like, and I hope good luck to you, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that is it for today, and if you never watched videos about positives or negatives of this bike, I'm gonna put them somewhere here on the screen or somewhere here and also in the description, so you can check them out. And I don't care if you like, comment or subscribe. I mean, I won't complain if you do, but yeah, thank you for watching and see you somewhere else.